Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Hall and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggae boys who take the lead.
Ball chat. Greetings, football family. Welcome to Ball Chat halftime show. Is that the unnamed show? A call-in show. My name is Benton, along with the family. George, what go on, family?
I'm good. Champagne football.
Yes. Champions League football. Call-in show is a little unscripted, so you don't know it's the people I'm sure if people want to call in. The Zoom ID number is 321-243-0221. We say you had people in the 22 in the ID business, not the Zoom enter ID business.
All right, but by next week, even though you realize the season's soon done.
Yeah, season soon done.
Like 6-7 weeks away.
Yeah.
Really like 7 shows away from going into summer break. But definitely real soon we're going to have the phone call feature on. And then next season, you don't know, we hit the ground running. Because we already have some big things coming for next season.
Yeah, see there. Boy, you know, say, me up on a local youth them there for spring break. Well, one of the youth is on spring break. And so, me a man enjoy some local football because me I take spring break too. At least a couple days. And so it was nice to sit in and watch some football games with the youth. Champions League football game. Arsenal, I think the top of the headline of this week's Champions League is all about Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, we called it up. We never. I don't think you or I saw 3-0, but we expected. I know I expected Arsenal to have a positive result in the first leg, and it was the second leg. We see what really happened, right? So I called that.
Well, so you're going to claim that as a call?
Of course, hell yeah, I'm claiming that as a call.
Because I distinctly remember. By the way, big up to our listeners. Thank you. My apologies. Thanks. Big up. Thank you always for listening and joining Ball Chat. Smash the like button. Call in show family if you want to call in. Call in on Zoom. The Zoom ID number is 321-243-0221. Arsenal fans, where are you? I doubt Arsenal fans want to call in yet because it's not over. But you cannot drop the sword. You cannot lose from here. I mean, you're not Football Club Barcelona against Liverpool a couple years ago.
And you're not PSG versus Barcelona a couple years ago as well.
So it's a different animal. I mean, Declan Rice, there were some crazy stats coming into this football game. I can't remember Declan Rice scoring a Champions League goal, much less a Champions League free kick. I can't even remember Declan Rice scoring a free kick, period. But he had 2 outstanding free kicks. I mean, whosoever is his voodoo or Obeahman, that is, I need to link him for the latter number because that was absolutely outstanding display by Declan Rice. That is what you pay for high-level transfer. That's the impact you expect from big money transfer like a Declan Rice.
No. I push back on that. What he does in the second leg is what you paid for.
What he does in the second leg in what really?
Yes, because
the man put the game on a plate for the team. The team now collective rally round and make sure so we see out this thing.
Oh, so the team should collectively rally around. No, he's paid for his leadership to forward back next week. Look, is Arsenal had their moment. We might look back on this and say, no, Arsenal really is a good team. Sean would like to convince us, big up Sean, aka Countryman, would like to convince us that Arsenal is what we saw and Arteta is the problem, right? I think the jury is still out on that. They had their moment. Real Madrid is Real Madrid. Same thing for the last couple of years. The only difference is in the years past, they wouldn't have given up the third goal. In the years past, they would have found a way to score one or two. Mbappe did have couple chances. One that he had to break away and force the keeper into a good save, but you would have been odds on thinking that Mbappe is going to put it away. I think it just comes down to the next leg. We've seen this story before with Real Madrid. If next week, Wednesday on halftime show, we're talking about Real Madrid coming back, winning 4-1, and are winning leading 4-1 in extra time, and then winning in overtime or extra time, whatever, we go and sit down and say, well, that's just Real Madrid being Real Madrid, right?
No, we just gonna say that's just Arsenal being a bug side.
No. After I think. Well, yeah, depends on how you look at it.
Yeah,
6 and 1 half dozen.
at least that's what I would say. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing about this Real Madrid team. You can clearly see the issues with this Real Madrid. This is not equivalent to that Liverpool team that came back against Barcelona, right? That Liverpool team was unified, free-flowing football team. They play in a collective front. Clearly with Real Madrid right now, I mean, Real Madrid is just, and I think a lot of Real Madrid problems are centered around two people, Vinicius Jr. and Jude Bellingham. And they are different for different reasons. Vinicius Jr. is an annoying player to play with as a teammate. And he gets into these habits where he just wants to do. He's not aggressive as we saw when he was 19 years old. The passes are not as good, and it's just checking back, just doing the heavy lifting, the dirty work. He's not into that. He's not playing well offensively, and he's not doing the dirty work defensively. And then for me, Jude Bellingham is a player who his game flows on his moods. If he is in a good mood, he is an outstanding player. If the ball now get passed a certain way, him start talk with his teammates in a certain way and start look at his teammates in a certain way. And then that leads to other problems. So I center a lot of the Real Madrid issues around these two players. I think for Real Madrid, the level of investment, and this is the Royal Whites we are talking about, big bad side. 15 Champions League titles. You're not supposed to get butter bruised by Arsenal. Especially after you've gone out and make significant investments in the Kylian Mbappe, Endrick, and all. I mean, Carlo Ancelotti, simple thing me I do yesterday if I'm Carlo Ancelotti. I'm taking out Vinicius Jr. Tell Mbappe you playing left wing and Endrick is going down the middle. Simple. And because at some point, and then Brahim Diaz, Rodrigo come hold and stay. Brahim Diaz, you on the other side. And there seems to be a heavy reluctance by Carlo Ancelotti to sub Vinicius Jr. yesterday. I may have had it wrong. I may be misinterpreting what the coach decided to do yesterday, but I thought Vinicius Jr. should have been hooked way early in that football game.
I agree 100%. And I honestly, you see, before, when I always used to tease as a Brazil fan that I can't wait for Carlo Ancelotti to come coach Brazil, I take it back. I don't think Carlo wants to even be in the same room with Vinicius Jr. if he can. And I think he can't wait till the summer and then they'll figure out what they're going to do. Because he to me signifies, and he's a very good baller. But the emotion, you can just see the split coming, and it's just a matter of time.
But this is where the Don supposed to execute. At the end of the day, we can praise Vinicius when he does well, and we can also hold him accountable when he's doing foolishness. And this is where the Don now, as a coach, as an elder in the business, a man who have had success across many different leagues, in Carlo Ancelotti, could say, yo, Vinicius, come on, let's see it. No, it's unless somebody up in higher than Carlo Ancelotti is pulling the strings, dictating certain things. It just doesn't make any sense to me why he plays so many minutes. But, you know, that aside, because we know Kylian Mbappe can play the left wing and play it quite well. He's done it for years. They have other investments on the bench. They have Arda Güler as a good winger also on the bench. They have Brahim Diaz, who has been quite effective on the bench. So, I mean, yeah. But not taking that aside, Arsenal, excellent performance.
Yeah, definitely. And they got their chance. They grabbed the bull by the horns. And that's how I'm going to see it, because apart from Dortmund, for me, this should be the second most obvious tie of the round, where I think Real Madrid supposed to wax the floor with Arsenal over two legs. So I'm not going to sit here now and act like, oh, you know, this is what we expect from Arsenal. No, this is still the same Arsenal that we see fail week in, week out in the Premier League. This is the same Arsenal that drew with Everton. Right? So you have ebbs and flows, you have vibes going into a game, you have where your approach in the game works and the team mentality kind of kick in and everything does fall right in place for you, and then you take it over the top. That's how I describe what Arsenal did. Second leg is going to be the telltale. What they do in the first 15 minutes is going to be the telltale. Can they survive the first 15 minutes without giving up a goal? That to me is that I don't even care about nothing else right now. I just want fast forward to Wednesday and watch the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game. And that will tell me how serious Arsenal is about this Champions League.
All right. Sunday when we did our previous show, I said Valencia gave Arsenal a script. And,
yes,
you know, they didn't use the Valencia script, but them do something quite similar. Very defensive focus. You know, Thomas Partey in that midfield was excellent. Arsenal will be fine against Real Madrid on what is it? Wednesday is the second leg. Arsenal will be fine. Defensively, they will be fine. Real Madrid will not come back in this ball game. This is the end of it. Go on a yard. Now, if a goal going early in the first 10 or 15 minutes, and in the first half, 2 goals going for Real Madrid, then it's a different ball game. But looking at what we've seen from Arsenal defensively, I don't expect them to fall like Barcelona did against Liverpool.
Which is true, because as much as we'll joke and laugh at Arsenal, they haven't had that collapse game. They haven't had that game where the whole foundation just fall out, right? So regardless of what happened, regardless of the feeling or the vibes towards Arsenal, Real Madrid has to score 3 goals Wednesday. Do you see Arsenal giving up 3 goals?
Yeah.
That's the question right there. That's the key question. And as much as it costs Arteta, he doesn't give up 3 goals. He just doesn't. So, like I said, Real Madrid dead on arrival, possibly. But the ball round. We never see Arsenal scoring 3 against Real Madrid here. We never know what can happen next game. But if I was a betting man, I would say Arsenal should survive the tie, but it will not surprise me if they have squeaky bum syndrome.
You know, and also to component, even though they won, we need to move on to another game, but even though they won 3-0, they could have won by 4-5.
Yes.
That's the goals between these two football teams. So Arsenal just to go for it and do what they need to do this coming Wednesday. Simple as that. Thibaut
Right.
Courtois made some good saves to keep Real Madrid.
Great saves.
Yeah. Real Madrid is not. This is not Champions League winning Real Madrid side.
Yes, yes.
The other game yesterday, maybe this is probably where I picked Inter Milan, I think, also over the weekend, just kind of nonchalantly. Inter Milan ended up winning the game 2-1. But on a sneaky thing, I kind of feel that Inter Milan might win this Champions League. They've been there before, i.e. the final. They have an experienced bunch, and they have an outstanding coach. Your thoughts on this first leg, 2-1 for Inter? No, they go back to the San Siro.
You might have a point, your last statement. I want to focus on the game, but your statement about you have a hunch that they might win the Champions League, you might have a point, because if there's one thing about Inter Milan, they don't have a weakness. They are just a complete football team.
Everybody has a weakness.
No, Inter Milan does not have a weakness. Inter Milan, well, all right, let me put it this way. Arsenal need a striker. Real Madrid need leadership. They need to replace the old guard. Barcelona needs steel to go with the talent that they have. Bayern Munich seems to be a year, 2 years too early. Inter, you cannot point to something at Inter and say, here's where they're vulnerable.
And I will tell you,
vulnerability. All right, tell me a vulnerability.
And I tell you, like Inter Milan, and watching the game yesterday, and also knowing that how they line up. Simeone often likes the three in the back. He puts Damian pretty high up the field. All it takes is for Leroy Sané or a good winger to get behind Damian and exploit him and go at Pavard. That's all it takes.
It sounds easy on paper, but again, I'm posted this video. I know you watched the video. Everybody out there, look up the video that shows about Simeone, Inzaghi's tactics.
Yeah.
And how he deploys the team and how they move in unison. So yes, Sané, exploit Darmian all you want. So when you break down that left wing and look to the right, you're not seeing 3 blue shirts. You're going to see about 5 or 6. This team defends together. They attack together. They're not you have to have a magical moment to beat Inter Milan. It's just that simple. They are not going to beat themselves, number one. And you just have to have that next generation guy to beat this team. Lamine Yamal is that type of personality, right? Mbappe is that type of personality. Somebody that can transcend the whole team and beat you. Musiala is so missed.
In the football, huge.
Sure, because Inter just had no fear of Bayern Munich. To old man Müller shows that he can still pull the rabbit out the hat, right? But into all. And this is Inter playing at Allianz Arena. This is not Inter at San Siro when they are a completely different side. And when you look at Mkhitaryan and how Mkhitaryan, you talk about Sané taking advantage of Darmian. Who the hell is going to stop Mkhitaryan? Because Mkhitaryan was running rum shot in the middle, in between the trenches for Bayern Munich. So now when Bayern Munich now have to chase the game at the San Siro, and you look at the goal that Martinez scored, look at the touch from my boy, which would just easily drop it to him for him use the outside foot and place it. Inter can easily score 3 goals at home against Bayern Munich when Bayern have to chase the game. So, I don't know, Benton. I am starting to believe when you said that Inter can win this thing, because they right now they just feel like that team.
Yeah, I mean, they've been there before, well coached outfit, but this is a very close tie. And the fact that it's just one goal, the margin, anything can happen. And you know what? Yes, Inter is the favorite based on based on at home. But if somehow Jamal Musiala, and I don't even know what he will be like if he's available, because the wide ear of Bayern Munich is so essential to what they're trying to do. It's so essential. And to be fair, Harry Kane did miss a goal, which is a bit unusual. I mean, the one that hit the post. Maybe it's not a miss, but
Yeah, miss is kind of harsh. He should have put it away though.
Yeah.
He should have put it away, but it wasn't that. It's just one of those things.
So your assessment of this one.
I think it's still in the balance, because I think Bayern Munich have the qualities to can show up and blow doors off a game. However, again, I'm not going to pull back on my statement. Inter is a complete team. So Bayern going to have one of the performances of the season to overturn this tie at the San Siro.
Yeah. It might be Inter's year to win the Champions League. Last time Inter won the Champions League, it was that the year when Jose Mourinho.
The gaff, of course.
Yeah, Jose Mourinho was the manager.
That's the gaff year.
How long ago was that? It was 2014? 2012?
That's 14 sound right.
We have to look that up. But
that was the year. That was the year after Eto'o was run out of Barca.
Yeah, after Pep sent, let's have champion. Regarding today's Champions League games, are these games dusted for you? Are these ties over? The Barca versus Borussia Dortmund, of course, Aston Villa versus PSG.
You hear me now?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I hear you.
Yeah. Comcast are working on the area. Just get that text. So, but I'm back.
Yeah.
Cause they said out notice. We're working in the area, and internet's been.
Yeah, we are here. Yeah. So that was the Inter Milan. That was a 2010 year, 2009, 2010. Yeah, but back to what I was saying though regarding today's games. Are you sold that these games are over? These ties, these two matches today.
That third goal,
for Paris,
for PSG, that kind of put Aston Villa behind the 8 ball. Barca, that done. Hansi Flick not giving up a 4 goal. No, that's not happening.
Yeah, that game is finished. Yeah,
that done. But Aston Villa, they showed glimpses. But the thing about Paris, in my opinion, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in my opinion, I think Luis Enrique has his team ready to play better as the games go on. So, first leg, yes, but the second leg, they play better. So, even though they're going to Aston Villa, look, Aston Villa just focus on finishing top 4, because Dembele is basically unstoppable.
I think, who said it? I think Donald said it. Big up Donald. Donald said PSG is a dangerous team. And I agree with him 100%. Dangerous from the standpoint that the talent, the young talent that PSG have assembled, and they have assembled a very young squad with a very good manager who's a disciplinarian who has won at all levels. And but the youth is a concern for me though. and I don't expect Aston Villa to beat them in this round. But the disclaimer, the concern I have for PSG as they progress to the final. If they get to the final, can PSG win the Champions League? Because at some point, as dangerous the squad that they have, you have to ask that question: is PSG a legitimate? Do you think that PSG can win it this year, the elusive title? And they do have the talent and the leadership, but I am not so sure that when they go up against other opponents like the Bayern Munich or Inter Milan of the world in the final, or Barcelona in the final for that matter, they will win a game like that. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I see what I said. So there is some benefits to youthful ignorance, right? And I think that's what PSG is using right now. They just don't know that they should not be this good. They eerily remind me of Ajax when Ajax made it all the way to the final.
Yeah.
However, and Luis Enrique and Ten Hag at the time kind of have the same kind of profile. Now, Ten Hag, if his profile get mashed up since he got Man U, but at the time, I would say they both have similar profiles. But after the Manchester United debacle, I would say Luis Enrique is not Ten Hag, or Ten Hag is not Luis Enrique. So,
one is a proper manager, and one I try Horico.
Right.
Luis Enrique is a proper manager. I mean, he has won Champions League with Barcelona. So the Ajax team with Tadic and Deli Bling, that Ten Hag team. I mean, we're Ten Hag them just catch lightning in a bottle, man.
No, but that's the thing. It was just youthful ignorance. They had the youngest captain ever in our Champions League.
Who ended up? Matthias Delight?
At Man U.
Okay.
But still, though, that's it. They share similar personalities. Only thing is that PSG is top heavy, while that Ajax team was more back heavy. But they share similarities. The difference to me, though,
to think about that Ajax team. Who was in the midfield for Ajax?
That Ajax team was Daley Blind he played.
I think Daley Blind was in the back.
Blind was in the back with
Dusan Tadic from Southampton was in the 10 role.
Yeah.
Who's
the bowling midfielders?
I try to remember. Was David Neres on that team?
I looked up. I don't think so. Ajax squad.
What year did Ajax go to final?
Who did beat them again? That wasn't Real Madrid. Who did beat Ajax
okay. Let's football family. We are going through. We lose. That was Ajax. Well, they went to the semi-final, Bridget.
Was it
they
Tottenham?
Didn't go to the final.
They never got to Tottenham. Was it Tottenham that they beat them?
Yeah, Tottenham. That was the year Tottenham and Liverpool.
Yes, yeah. So 2018, 2019.
2018, 2019 season.
Yeah.
So wait. So then, if you lose to Tottenham, then come on.
But remember that was the game when my little Brazilian boy had just had one of them crazy games.
Lucas Moura.
I think that was the hat-trick game. So you had Onana in goal, Delit and Blin, Mazraoui and Tagliafico at the wing backs, Sean and De Jong. Yes, that's it. De Jong, Frankie De Jong. That's what we're trying to remember. They had Danny van der Beek, Neres, and Ziyech, and Tadic was a striker. That's the side. It's Frankie de Jong and Sean, we're trying to remember. Frankie de Jong and Danny van der Beek.
Yeah. PSG just that first goal by this kid, Duek, that was a goal also.
I think they scored 3 beautiful goals. You need 3 great goals to beat Emi Martinez. All 3 goals were world-class goals. Even the one that beat him on the near post, he is not saving that.
Yeah, and Cavara. One thing he demonstrated today is that in that second half, he was like, I'm going to eat. I'm going to cook. Whatever the kids said today. He was just going at the left back, going at Matikac at the right back, going at him. And then he scored. So, PSG, this tie for me is done. And this Aston Villa PSG game is done. I mean, this is the big league. Aston Villa, kudos to them. Now, if forward somehow Aston Villa can have one of those glorious nights and turn this thing around, I will come back and apologize. But there's PSG, went to Anfield, defeated Liverpool on PKs. This PSG is ready for prime time. They will advance to the semi-final. Arsenal, they will meet in the semi-final. And if they meet Arsenal, they can go to final.
They'll be odds-on favorite to go to the final.
Yeah, I mean,
because PSG don't have the back door wide open like Real Madrid.
And that's the thing that's gonna be interesting. If Arsenal, as expected, eliminate Real Madrid, because Arsenal fans, rightfully so, are celebrating, and players are celebrating, and coach staff are celebrating. But them no win nothing yet. And it's important them keep a even keel, celebrate the night, but then circle back to the business at hand. A trophy not try say. And so it's important that they recognize that, yeah, we beat Real Madrid, but we have bigger fish to fry, i.e. win this thing. And with that being said, even though they beat Real Madrid, I don't see them getting past Paris over 2 legs if they meet in the semi-final.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
The other part of the draw, before we wrap up, Barcelona, I honestly believe that Barcelona is on business. The Barcelona have money problems, and this title could really, really alleviate some of the financial issues. And the way they're playing football, very attacking. You're going to score on it. So it's going to be interesting to see if they play Inter Milan, and can they break down Inter Milan to really win this game.
So let's foreshadow. Let's forecast it then. Let's assume the Barca tie is done. Let's assume that Sean Dyche is right and Bayern Munich not overturning the Inter deficit.
Sean Dyche
versus with what he said about
Sean Dyche, this in Vincent Company. Okay.
Yeah, people have to watch ball chat. But so they forget that reference. That's a great
Sean
reference.
Dyche should want to walk.
But when you look at that Inter versus Barcelona game, every great player had their moment. Every great player had a moment that you point to and say, this is where I went from being potentially a great player to now being highly regarded or known as amongst the world's best, right? I think Lamine Yamal is going to get that opportunity, because I am not going to sit down and tout Inzaghi as one of the next best coaches, and he's going to make a little picnic on balling. He is going to make Yamal grow 3 years over 2 legs if they really face each other. Because Lamine is going to have to work. So he better get his big boy socks on, the big boy shoes, and lace them up, because you're going to work them 2 legs. Can't tell you that right now. if he is what we think we're seeing, he's going to get the opportunity to prove it, and we're going to sit down now and say, yes, this kid has arrived. Or we're going to say, you know what, this was a good learning experience. He's going to remember this moment, and then we'll come back to it later on. Right? And Messi had his, I think, when they played against Manchester United in the Champions League. When was it Chelsea? It was Manu. It was Manu. The one when Scholes bust the net from way out. And there was a young Messi playing. And Ronaldinho was still there. And then Messi was supposed to be the phenom. And he ran up into Sir Alex. I had to learn. I think Cristiano Ronaldo has his going up against Ashley Cole at Chelsea. When Ashley Cole was dominating him. Lamine Yamal, this is going to be your moment to shine. Make we see if we can do it.
Yeah. So, I mean, so we have Barcelona Inter in the semi-final. We agree upon that, or are you going with Bayern Munich Barca? I'm
going with Barca Inter.
And in the other one, you have Arsenal versus PSG. Are you looking? Can Aston Villa or Real Madrid overturn this thing?
Aston Villa dead on arrival. I am so. This is how much I don't trust Arteta. That I am sitting down and actually thinking that even with Real Madrid, even with all of the problems going on at Real Madrid, with all the players that are like each other, Arteta going to find somewhere for that show the time. But at this moment, I'm going to say yes. Arsenal versus PSG.
Oh man, I mean, Arteta side, I mean, this is a big man side. This, I mean, Thomas Partey, Martin Odegaard. This Arsenal outfit has come close so many times in the Premier League. Who has suffered. I mean, this is not even to win a title. It's just capitalize on an advantage that you have. A big advantage. Just go for it and play your ball game. Tackle and make sure say Vinicius Jr. get kicked down. I mean, that's it. And the CM Real Madrid problems will then rise to the surface the longer that ball game go and remain nil-all.
But I push back on that though. I think it is in Arsenal's best interest to make the game as boring as possible, which they can do, which is what Arteta is a master of making a game boring. You know?
Yeah, I mean, just draw the game and position.
It's more than drawing the game though. Don't piss off Real Madrid.
But
just
what else is if 3-0 is not pissing off Real Madrid, what else do you need to do?
No, which time was it? Last year, was it Dortmund? I think it was the Dortmund, the Dortmund tie. When every time Real Madrid in the first 5 minutes, every time somebody busts a tackle, they get a corner, and the fans get crazy, right? Arsenal don't want to see that. That's why I'm telling you, the first 10 minutes of the game is key. Is more than possession. Is Arteta learned from Pep. And Pep has a way. When Man City was Man City, they had a way of just lulling the game to sleep. For like, you sit down and watch a game, and in the back of your mind, I said, boy, especially as a Manchester United fan, watching a Manchester derby at the time, Jesus peace, we don't have a chance in hell. But it's still a 0-0 game, 20 minutes in, and you think, first of all, when the 20 minutes go by in the game, second of all, even though we don't create a shot for a goal, we can just tell that the man are playing a first gear. I think Arsenal is masters of that. If they get emotional, if they start talking and puffing them chests and start for waste time, that's going to juice up Real Madrid more. And I think Real Madrid is a team that feeds off energy. They feed off emotion. They are so emotionally invested in themselves that any little thing can push them over the edge, good or bad. But anyway, you push them over the edge to be focused, they are world beaters.
You know,
Arsenal cannot afford that.
one time, I think you said one time about going in the Lions then and slapping
I
on the
said
Lions.
that. I said that Sunday. So
I mean, Arsenal, this Real Madrid team, you can go in the Lions then and slap them on the ass and forget about it.
you're crazy. You already slapped them on the ass.
I got a red card.
Yeah.
Toshimini will come back. All right. Rudiger is taped up together. It's two pieces of tape that hold Rudiger together. All right. What will Real Madrid, what will Carlo do? He doesn't trust Fran Garcia, his highly transferred in left back, over a taped up David Alba.
We've seen this before. I think it was the same PSG. They went to PSG. Carlo went to PSG with a mad lineup. And that was COVID year. You remember?
Yeah.
And it was a crazy lineup. I can't remember the he did something where you can sit down and say, what the hell are you thinking? But then the second leg, he put the pieces back together. And then they went out and overturned the tie.
And Real Madrid has lost the last two games. So it's not just Arsenal that beat them. Bug Valencia beat them. So, I mean, come on, Arsenal. Just finish the job. And I don't want to gas up Arsenal fans, But
you are gassing them up.
But I mean, if you cannot see off a tie against a team that is clearly not at its best, lacking critical pieces, especially in the midfield, players who don't really want to play together are not playing for a collective. If you cannot beat this team and you want to win trophy, come on.
Now, did we think prior to this game that Arsenal had a chance to win a trophy after getting kicked out of the FA Cup?
Well,
we know them can't win Premier League.
What did we say jokingly recently? We said, well, Premier League done. Why not go try win Champions League? Focus all your efforts on Champions League.
True.
Beat Real Madrid and see what happened. Remember, before Liverpool won the Premier League, right? They won the Champions League.
Well, why not Arsenal?
So, why not Arsenal? Why not Mikel Arteta and Arsenal? So, come on. And I mean, nah, man, the Arsenal now drop. If Arsenal loses football game, them can pack up this Arteta experiment and forget about it.
I agree.
Yo, before we go, Reggae girlz, we have to touch this thing. 4-0 last night against suffered a 4-0 defeat to Mexico.
Wait, they suffered a 7-0 defeat.
4-0 defeat last night, 3-0 in the first game. They must suffer a 7-0, man. Talk to me about this game because Dion Burton stood in for Coach Hubert Busby Jr., who had to step away for personal reasons. Good luck to you, Coach. Hopefully all is well. Head coach, that is. Good luck to you. Dion Burton looked a little bit perplexed on the sideline during the game last night.
I don't want to sound insensitive, but no, actually, I'm going to sound another way. I'm going to cement and I told you so. I told you so. I told you so at the end of the World Cup. I said, Jamaica, let's not try to change our identity to run down something that we cannot achieve. And we'll look back on this team and say it was a fad. I said it. I said it at the end of the World Cup. Jamaica qualified for the World Cup. Where was Mexico when they first qualified for the World Cup? And what was Mexico as a women's football team at the time? And we have seen that team now transition to now turning and beating them 7-0. Doesn't this feel like Japan, the men's program, where Jamaica went to the World Cup, first time World Cup qualifiers in 1998, they're in the zone with Croatia, Argentina and Japan. Argentina big side, Croatia. First time, three first-time qualifiers, technically, even though Croatia was a part of USSR, right?
Part not USSR.
Russia or whatever.
What's it?
No, not Russia. Yugoslavia.
I think Bosnia, Serbia, whatever.
Right. But they technically too were.
We'll go back to geo class because we want to get to facts right now. Because I don't remember, I know.
But they were technically World Cup debutants as well. So he had 3 World Cup debutants in the same group.
Yeah.
But Croatia, we know, is a different story. Japan were World Cup debutants as well. And Jamaica balled Japan the last game of the World Cup. Beat them 2-0. Right now, Jamaica can't sit Japan football. It's the same thing with Mexico and Jamaica in the women's team right now. In only 8 years, Mexico is now 7-0 better than Jamaica over 2 legs. If that don't show you what poor management looks like, what poor vision, lack of vision look like. You can't come to me with the money argument. You cannot come to me with resource argument. You can't come to me with cultural argument.
Well, we can't come to you with the money argument.
Because Mexico and Jamaica are both developing nations. They face similar obstacles. Yes, Mexico big, and yes, Mexico have a bag of people, but that still don't mean. And the difference, ironically, is Mexico have a better women's league than Jamaica. Go figure. Wow. The Mexican team look like they actually play together. Oh, wow. Jamaica look like they're the first time they're playing with each other. I wonder why.
So, all right. So the problem you have is the changing of identity, the passing out of the buck.
Yes.
So you're more aligned with the defensive first philosophy. Send the ball long. Have a big striker, Cameron Simmons, Michaela McKenna, or big bad Bunny Shaw, like Lauren did in the World Cup. Defensive first football, secure, and then hopefully your wingers can do something.
Well, that's a trick question. No,
because it's not really a question. Sorry, but I am not opposed to changing an identity and the approach that Lauren played in the World Cup. I am not opposed to playing passing out of the back football. I am not opposed to being more expansive. What I'm opposed to is just fundamental errors. Like Sydney Schneider, the backup goalkeeper, has been in the Reggae Girlz since 2019 and prior to 2019 because she was at the 2019 World Cup. And she did keep in the World Cup. And Sydney Schneider was playing the ball out of the back last night. I mean, one that said, yo, she can't pass the ball out of the back. So why are we playing the ball out of the back? So it's not necessarily about, I don't really want to dwell upon the negatives because there's so many negatives to go around. And ball chat, I go find some positives to highlight. But it's not just about the mere facts of why is the style of play, is the reluctance or the inability of the coaching staff to recognize the personnel can't play that style.
Football is football.
And again, may I just say the example, if we say we are play out of the back, and Sydney Schneider in a goal can't play out of the back, so why is she being put in a position to play out of the back?
Why is she on the team?
Yeah. So what? So and that is not even about a football question. That is just common sense question. If we are gonna deal with a job, we are deal with a work, and we have a group, we say, well, Junior, you are the IT man. This is your area expertise. This is a man over here, so this is where I deal with. this with security. This is a theme area expertise. And the accountant, we are gonna make sure so everyone can maximize our work for the better of the group, maximizing their talent. But the
that's the
goalkeeping
problem.
core for the Reggae Girls. And in
That's
the
the
first
problem.
leg,
Yeah.
the first of the series, essentially you can see the goals same way. Headers. Both from crosses. No pressure on the ball coming in. But equally, Mexico scored from the same thing. Mexico scored again with the first goal one night. Is like a replay of the second goal in the first game. In the first game, we have a goalkeeper, Rebecca Spencer. Big up yourself, Rebecca. But Rebecca can't deal with crosses. She's reluctant to aggressively take control of her era. And now in the second game, we have a goalkeeper who lost at sea. How would the Rastafari go on? Are we serious about football?
My thing though is all of these problems, you don't need a game to see the problems. You don't need a
this
game.
not supposed to be obvious. This not supposed to reach YouTube.
Let's discover this in practice. And then we'll say, okay, all right, you're struggling at practice. So we're now going to put this in a live, but every time we come back together, we're going to work on this. Right? And then you implore the federation to get you some behind closed doors games where you can try that. Where it doesn't matter if you lose 15-0. You're trying this and you're working on it, you're working on it. Bringing Cassava Constant Springs under 16 boys team, I'm going to play them. And you keep working on it until you figure it out. Then you bring it to the live. But this making it on TV. It's beyond me. Your analogy about the planning and the system, that's a big word, is planning. There is a method to the madness. So you go pick somebody as you're the IT person. You are the IT person because of your credentials. I have done my research. I've done my homework. You fit this role. We don't take up any regular Joe Smo off of the street and say, come to open heart surgery upon this person. That's what it looked like. So it is, are we being too much of a fan when we support some of these teams, when we think of things logically while they are thinking more along some other path? It's very important to get the Reggae Girls out there on the field so we can market them. It's very important to have Rebecca Spencer, Drew Spence, or Kanye Plummer, or Tiffany Cameron, or Jody Brown. It's very important to have them on the field because the fans like it, and when they're on the field, our viewership on JFF Live go up, so we get more people who spend the $9.99. What if that's their motivation?
I can't be. No, can't nobody now pay $99 for that. I must some chop up. Mine JFF I get chopped. Don't run that credit card. I am not opposed to, in fact, I've always said that I would love to see this group, this cohort of players. I've said it repeatedly in other Balcha episodes. I would love to see this cohort of players with a proper manager. A man or woman who can implement and maximize them to the fullest. Because I think they're that talented. This chop and change foolishness we are going right here, so is not it. And World Cup qualifiers are come thick and fast. I guess a couple positives from last night games, from the two games series, is that one, they actually got together to play, to actually reunite. We're like, yo, a long time ministry, you know, they got back together, even though them pick up a fix up. And another positive is like, they actually should at least recognize some of the blatant errors. Like, you can't allow this player or players to just cross ball in your box. So, somebody supposed to be able to put some pressure upon the ball. And B, you can't just make the attacker, the forward, just have free headers. So you can't just, I know so it work. And big up my baller, Alison Swaby. Yeah, my general. And Junior knows I'm rate Alison Swaby. Crystal Palace, wherever you're there, PSG, where San Diego FC. Alison Swaby, big up yourself. Big up your damn self. But Alison Swaby, you know I'm playing out. Alison Swaby has taken a step back in the Reggae Girls outfit. And we have to have some succession plans in place because the general is not the general no more. She look like a Cub Scout right now. Because me I watch Alison Swaby a chase. No, Alison Swaby I get chased by a Mexican player. I outrun Alison Swaby, you know. This is something where me I wonder say how Alison Swaby I get moved by so. And again, because we don't have very good backups, I'm gonna really want to highlight some of the other weaker players who fouled on the thing last night over the 2 games. Because no, Jody Brown, big up yourself. Jody, come on, we need to take the next step, Aya. We need to take the next step. Mr. Kanye Plummer and miscontrol ball. Kanye Plummer, the captain, under no pressure, all a miscontrol ball. And me I say, what Kanye there? A dance Kanye there? I want go on. No, man, come on. It almost seems like, and then Dean Burton had the audacity. Big up yourself, Dean, because I know see you got pushed into a difficult situation because the coach had personal excuse. But Dean Burton, after the first game, the 3-0 defeat, so they identified some mistakes and they're going to correct them. The 4-0 defeat, Dean Burton then come back. This is the second game they picked. They didn't identify the mistakes because they picked up 4 in the second game. And the second game, Dean Burton now come at the conclusion. The post-match presser, he said that, the second half was great in the second game. The second half was great. They really fought. And I know say we are coach. And I know say, we are going to find the positives. But come on, Dion. The game they done already. Mexico already scored 4 goals. Of course, second half are going to look better.
You already scored 7 goals.
Well, Junior, go on to your bed.
You already scored 7 goals.
So, of course, the second half are going to look better. So basically, right now, we just depend on Bonisha and Drew Spence for forward back for kind of rally the troops when World Cup qualifiers come around. So I thought them coaches, it seems like they make them name off of Bonnie and Drew Spence there. Because they can't win nothing without. There are stuff going on here, so.
Big up positive vibration. Positive vibration say, hold on, Judas a plumber. And as I said, is a boss. Big up Arlene. Arlene says big up. Done. My issue, I don't know what is it about international football and Jamaica. I know what.
We know what it is.
But I keep saying it, and I'm gonna say it again. And let me say it a million times over. Our culture, Jamaica is not an athletic culture. We are a hype culture. I'm going to get hate mail. I'm going to get people saying he's a damn idiot. It's okay. That's fine. I will take the loss. But Jamaica is not an athletic, passionate culture. They are a hype, passion culture. If you are hype, we are going to, if you are hype and you're representing the flag, we are going to represent you. But there's no passion behind it. So it boils down. Look, if you look at the players' social media, if you look at players' social media, you will always see some Brazilians hanging out together. You will always see some English ballers hanging out together. You will always see some Mexican ballers hanging out together. American players in them clique hang out together. Show me a time you say a Jamaican footballer, apart from the 1998 World Cup side, show me a time or a post or something where you say Jamaican footballers actually looking like they like each other off the field. You make a point earlier when you said that the Jamaican players actually looked like they were happy to see each other. Well, they don't see each other outside of playing for Jamaica. There is something there. There's something amiss with when we put these teams together. They are not teams. They are mercenaries. It is what it is. It sounds harsh. But it is what it is.
This is where the coaches, if you are select a squad, then you select the group that can foster this culture. Guy, World Cup qualifier is a battle. And if you don't have people who you can depend upon who are a battle for one another, who are just look at hype, then it's not gonna work.
It works. It works until all right. In my opinion, it's my opinion.
BM says Inter Miami play LAFC game lit.
Yeah, it was 1-1, right? So far?
3-1 right now, 3-2 on aggregate.
Oh, okay.
BM come over here so with the messy hype, brother. 3-1 now at Chase Stadium. Sorry, Junior, go ahead.
Yeah, but when you're building a side, right? And you have a team is built in two ways. You're built on talent or you're built on chemistry. Ideally, you would want to have the ideal chemistry mixed with superior talent, right? You can tell when teams get formed, especially in football, what is their motivation. Jamaica's World Cup team, the men's World Cup team, right now, their motivation is not to represent Jamaica. Their motivation is to recoup the benefits of making it to the World Cup. That is what Steve McLaren is selling. That's what the players are behind. The Jamaican women team, they came behind this, in my opinion, they came behind this woman power push against the Jamaican.
Sorry, Junior. Miami's goal chopped off at 2-1, 2-2.
So 2-2. 2-2.
So it's 2, yeah. Miami goal chopped off. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
But that's what Jamaica is built off right now. The Jamaica women's team, when they came together, it was them not supporting us. Let's go out there and prove them wrong. And they did that twice, right? So when you have these little practice games coming up, what do we have to prove? What is our motivation to come back together? What are we trying to work towards? Oh, well, we're not really work towards nothing because World Cup qualifier will come to like next month. And I will just show up and, just go to play the game and we get little stipend money and, get for hangout. Yeah, we're going to do that. And that's why you see Kanya Plummer miscontrol a ball that she will not do when she played for our club. Because the focus isn't there. That is where Jamaica's problem is. We seem to think that we can just turn it on and off when we feel like. And that's how this thing works. It's actually disrespectful to the sport. It's disrespectful to the people before you. But we seem to feel like we can just show up and just play a ball when we feel like we play a ball. That's a Jamaica. That's our culture. That is a thing with Jamaican culture that just so stay.
A town mentality that. They're not going to arena.
Maybe, but okay. So when is Reno playing? When is Reno playing in the JPL?
Reno is under reconstruction right now.
Oh, okay.
Because Mr. Ben Williams' money run out.
Oh, so the players them not playing for pride for the community, they play for the money. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
they're paying for a salary. I mean,
okay.
I think Mr. Ben Williams is back in China right now.
All right.
Or is he? I don't know. But I understand where I say still. I mean, I there's different way to chop it. But it's but again, we don't really want to read too much into these friendly games. But if you have to use sleep and mark that. so to speak. And one thing is very apparent is that the rest of the group, i.e., the teams that are in CONCACAF, are either closing or leapfrogging the Reggae Girls.
Why you may not want to read too much into it?
Huh?
If Jamaica was to play in the World Cup qualifier, one possible team that can play against is Mexico. Why should we feel like the World Cup qualifier going to be any different than the last 2 years? Really?
This is where the coaching, I mean, I don't know. There are some young players that they brought in. I mean, Chanel Buckley is a very good young player. Melissa Johnson, Davia Richards, all those young players that Gilbert had in his squad when the strike was gone. All of those young players most of them should be in this group right now with Busby, because they demonstrated something that they can contribute, and you blend these players in. But tired foolishness, yeah, man. Tired foolishness.
I called it right after the World Cup. But remember when I said it, and I told you at the time, BM,
which World Cup? Because they went to 2,
The last World Cup, I called it at the time,
and
I said, unfortunately, let me reiterate my words.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I do not want to pat myself on the back and said, I told you so. But I'm going to say I told you so when Jamaica women's team become an afterthought. And they will be disbanded. I said it at the World Cup. And they're getting very close.
This is the coming what? Remind me again.
Eventually, I said that they are going to fall off because you don't see where there's an identity being formed. You don't see a pipeline being formed. You don't see where they're retreading the players. And they will eventually lose our support.
Well, one of the major benefactors that contributed to the pipeline being funded is gone. I raised money for the pipeline. So the pipeline, Stella Marley, when she took away herself from the program, because she was a catalyst for funding the youth level. We don't hear the Reggae Girls Foundation anymore. I don't know if the Reggae Girls Foundation is very active anymore. So, not qualifying for the Gold Cup and regional, like how you not qualify for the Gold Cup? Come on.
As BM said, BM just said that, yeah?
Come on. So, and then that's all through pasa. So, but, looking at the present here and now, they have Brazil coming up in a few months.
Who just beat America.
Who just defeated America. These games against the Brazils of the world can be good and can be bad. I can see them for revenue to get some money, but also you have to be able to compete on that stage. Because, I don't really want to get butter brews and then, you collect your money, you're going home. Because ultimately, that might have a negative impact when it comes to qualifiers later on. So, but they have to figure out what's going on. What is Busby going to stick to the whole system? If Busby is truly the manager, or who's going to coach the team? Because again, Busby was absent because of personal reason. I don't know the reason. And is his staff competent enough? Because Dion Byrne said, we have to fix some mistake, but we don't see some mistake get fixed. The fact that you lost the first game 3-0 and your team started the second game so slow tells me that the coach doesn't have the ear of the group. Not the coaching staff. The coaching staff doesn't have the ear of the group. And you wait for the second half of the second game to say we play better. Come on. Dion Byrne probably has said, wait, tell me reach or something. I just try to get some experience after me get my coaching badge, brother.
And doesn't it feel like Paul Hall versus Panama?
Well, maybe if we could call Paul Hall then. Yeah, I that. I think that's enough of the Reggae Girls one evening. But we need to do better. The Reggae Girls can be some... I mean, I'm not even say nothing else.
I think that ship has sailed.
A ship is yeah, might be. Definitely might be.
The
Definitely.
Jamaica team that qualified for the World Cup, knocked Brazil out of the World Cup, made CNN news for and all of that is gone. Gone. It dead. Done. It's over. It's done. Pack it up. Just pack it
Starting
up.
11 that he played last night: Schneider, Swaby Sister, Plummer, Cardosa, Page, Bailey, Gale, Bonflessa, Sade, Odamalcon, Denden, Blackwood, Trudy Carter, Jody Brown. A lot of these players are experienced players. They've been part of the group for a long time.
They are old.
And old, but you can't start games slow.
They are old.
You can't start. I mean, won't have nothing to do with miscontrol.
They are old.
Won't have nothing to do with making simple passes, Bridget.
You know what old has to do with though?
What?
When the coach, yo, get your head in the game.
The coach was on Zoom, Junior.
Coach, a 2 World Cup player already, you know. Move up, man. Positive vibration says quality in the pool. Don't give up yet.
I mean, no, Junior is giving up and has given up because he said that after the World Cup. But the squad is they have players. They have players. I mean, I can think of a number of players that are ripe and ready to go. Young players. I mean, Dave's sister, Shania Hills at Newcastle. I mean, they are the Kiki Van Zanten and the Van Zanten sisters. I mean, Kiki Van Zanten came on last night. It's a long time Kiki Van Zanten playing a ball for Houston that because she's coming back from an injury. Imagine you just come back from an injury and the Reggae Girls call you and say, yo, come play some ball. So they do have Davia Richards. They do have players. They just need coach and proper administrative guidance.
All I heard from me is just some names getting called.
Yeah, this is why we need some good coach. We need proper managers, Bridget.
BM says, remember when Jamaica football had a gun run in the late 90s to early 2000s? The Reggae Boys senior, under 17 or under 20, qualified for World Cups. We didn't build on that. Same happening with the Reggae Girls. We don't seem to handle success well.
And ultimately that is administration. Too much administration issues.
Yo, you have to tell what Jamaica is like. Unfortunately, my beloved Jamaica is the Southampton of international football. They are. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. Reggae Girls. Where going where we at? Yeah, big up to the listeners. Where I go. And that is my assessment after 2 games series for the Reggae Girls. Where I go where we at? Time for we go where we at.
Yo, Southampton of international football. Jaja.
Atlanta Primus was missed last night. I could really use Atlanta Primus in that midfield. Junior, move up. Don't move up. Leave my Atlanta Primus alone.
Keep calling these little one-off names. Better than the player that they haven't done anything for Jamaica, man.
They have done a lot for Jamaica.
Nothing. All they have is showed what their talent can be, and then them open the door for a team where them show up before for come run around them.
Yeah, they have done something for Jamaica. I blatantly disagree with that. Which one? The team last night or the Reggae Girls in general?
Look,
just want to make sure it's me.
I am a what have you done for me lately guy.
Yeah, what have you? Oh, so the lately team.
I believe that's the path forward to success.
And I acknowledged your contribution through the years. And I acknowledge your contributions and value your contributions through the years. And if you can continue to provide them forward, if you cannot, then we say thank you for your service and keep it moving. But we can't neglect your contributions in the past.
No,
Not because me drop the soap and say, what have you done for me lately?
No, I'm not neglecting it, but I'm not going to put you in a position where you cannot perform just because of legacy. I'm not doing that.
But your legacy, your name and your legacy should be something after you met that 2019 World Cup and then the 2020. That's something that you're supposed to be able to lift off from. Should we have further investments, further support, and bring the next group of players in?
Okay, so Messi should captain Argentina in the World Cup coming up.
The what? The Argentina what now?
Messi should captain Argentina in the World Cup coming up.
At 2028? 2026?
Yes.
It's probably likely he will captain them. I mean, I say he's probably likely they will captain because I know them now win the World Cup. So they go and give him another farewell tour. But I guarantee you what will happen is that they will get a huge turnout in America because some American fans them say they want to see Messi.
So that is the motivation then. I don't know.
BM giving us play-by-play VAR review for handball. Penalty for Inter Miami.
That'll be the next one.
You know, so, I mean, and of course, Messi, I'm going to take the penalty and score. I refuse to give up on the Reggae Girls because, at least not yet. And here's why. Not yet. Because a part of me supporting the Reggae Girls, our Jamaican football period, is not necessarily about Jamaica in itself. It's also the individuals. And there are individuals in that team that deserves my support. But I'm going to say all of them deserve all our support. But there are individuals in that team, the young players, Chanel Buckley, Davia Richards, these young players that are coming, Atlanta Primus when she played, Drew Spence, you know, players who go in and put in a shift when they play ball. It's me deal. My general Swaby sisters when they play some ball. You know, but yo, and that is my mindset when it comes to supporting the team. It's just like with the Reggae boys. The same sort of mindset. It's not just about supporting the flag, it's supporting the players for me. And players who I deem warrant my support. You know? So I'm not going to say, yo, every Jamaican side will roll up me and support 100. No, because we are the foolish, I'm not going to support you. Like if every player on the men's team I play like Leon Bailey, me I take a break. It's me I deal with. But when I look on the men's team, I see a Kaim Dixon at work. It's me I deal with. I see Cephas at work. I see Andre Blake I do good work. So I tune in and support and buy tickets if I can. If I say, all right, then you they deserve support. And of course, BM said Messi score. Well,
so after this 7-0, how much more players do you need to see miscontrol the ball before you reach where you say, I'm giving up?
No, all right. So the player who miscontrol it. No, so a couple of things we conclude last night from the 7-0. Sidney Schneider, the goalkeeper, is either you move on or you say, well, I decide. There's not much wiggle room left for Sidney Schneider's career in the Reggae Girls. And big you up. She has done a lot in terms of the 2019 World Cup, but no, I hate that. Time to move on. If Sidney Schneider is still a part of the goalkeeping group, then we have really, really failed to have another goalkeeper somewhere. Leah Brooks is supposed to be up in the order because we know that Rebecca Spencer now not going to be there for a long time left. All right? No, all right. Kanya Plummer, miscontrol ball, come off I feel. Come on. And we have seen like the young Burnett, the center back. Excellent kid. She's supposed to unite group. So these are questions sometimes when you go out, when you listen to press conferences and hear them a drop squad. And you hear manager say, boy, well, we need to bring in some young players. And okay, let's go through the squad. you have a group of veteran all foot, for lack of better words, center backs, but you have young center backs that you don't even call. Why aren't you bringing those center? This is a friendly game, a friendly series. Now then, he might inform us and say, "Why, because of other obligations, these players are not available." And we say, "All right, cool." But from the outside, man, looks like why, you didn't really make an effort, significant effort to fold in those young players because you live off a 2022 and 2019 hype. And this is my worry with a Busby coaching staff or people who are coaching off of the Hugh Minns' coaching tree. Them a live off of the same hype from 2019. And the team now move forward. So...
And it make you wonder what the hell they are doing in their halftime.
Exactly. And yeah, I'm not calling it. I see a young lady last night I play some ball for Jamaica. I attempt to play some ball. I mean, I say, this is a young lady there on the side. Oh, she a play ball, brother. I mean, big up yourself, family. Hopefully she's nervous. But it's like, and again, this is also, and Jamaica have to be very careful, So you have the Van Zanten sisters are two players. Of course, one already capped for Jamaica, Kiki Van Zanten, at the senior level. You have the younger sister who play at the junior level in the U20. I'm missing her name. The USA just called the younger Van Zanten to their 23 U23 team, So, and the young Van Zanten, who we have watched in the U20 or U17 regional games, World Cup qualifying games for Jamaica, is a baller. So I say, how Jamaica cannot lose this young baller to America. And if you do foolishness, this is what will happen. So, I'm going to yard here, man.
Yeah, hate that.
And BM says, why Suarez I try kick bicycle? BM, ball game done in what? So, Junior, I think it's quite obvious that Inter Miami is going to win the Champions Cup.
Wow. You don't say.
Is there a tad bit of bias there you suggesting towards Inter Miami here, Junior?
Oh my God.
I'm hearing a bit of bad mind in that Inter Miami.
Well, who you think is that? I just watched a game in Jamaica and the whole stadium full. And I'm CONCACAF officials. And I'm going to say I'd rather see Hugo Lloris on my field versus Messi.
BM says, can you bring Lon on the show, please? Well, I send up Lon blood pressure now. We will try, BM. We'll reach out to him, but Lon is coaching the Chicago Stars in the NWSL. And the Chicago Stars, I get some butter brews. I'm a bread.
And that's what positive vibration says. Donaldson had Schneider at Chicago and couldn't play her.
Yeah, actually, Donaldson did bring. Actually, I think she's still on the squad at Chicago. Is she still there?
I think so.
So, but I bet she did a rub at Chicago Stars. So, come like my Virgin Donaldson have learned to keep up the foolishness.
We can't sit down. We will joke about it, but at some point, we have to realize we will build a team and we use our football brain, but there is more behind what builds up these teams.
Yeah.
We just don't know. Now, we did have Lard on the show before. We did have Roy Simpson on the phone, on the show before. And they were gracious enough, one, to come on the show, and two, they did pull the curtain back a little bit. Rest our soul and is what's your name again? Why the name? Your friend Benton.
Gene.
Gene. Gene Nelson.
Yeah.
We had Gene Nelson when Ball Chat just started. This is when Ball Chat, we used to big up Kevin. And we used to do a Kevin basement. I record the show. This is before we went live. And we reach out to Gene Nelson and Gene. You didn't know her personally? Because we never knew her personally.
No, we never knew her personally. I got Gene's contacts links from someone else.
Yeah,
I think it's Christine. Big up to Christine at Peak Performance. If you need peak performance, check out Christine Morrison. Christine Morris. And she made Tuffy Anderson top goal scorer in the Premier League, you know.
Yeah.
Christine Morris.
That was Ball Chat from yesteryear when we just started. And Jean was on the show and she pulled back on the curtain and she gave us insights into the struggle. You think you know struggle, you think you hear reported struggle, the things that we heard from Jean and the things that she had to go through with the administration or as an admin. And I said all that to say, imagine what is going on now, especially when part of the group might be a little bit hype.
Yeah. And
in some cases, too hype.
Yeah.
Imagine what they are going through.
Junior,
right?
I see what you're trying to do. You're not going to take no shot at my big baller now. You will not touch Bunny Shaw. You will not touch Bunny Shaw, Man City's one, but a part of the group too hype. I'm there.
Well, I was talking to admins, but if you look, we just throw a stone and whichever hog squeal, it squeal.
Yeah. Yeah, Schneider was on the group in the squad at Chicago. She got her yard though. She's with another club. And Sydney was also at Kansas City Current. And that did not work out. So it seems like Sydney needs some one-on-one assistance. Somebody, some coach. She needs to go spend a few days with the brother there. What the best goalkeeping coach?
You want me to be that guy?
No, Junior. We
Can I
don't know if her career is it yet because she did do well in the World Cup.
Before the show over, let me do one last time. I do it once a show, right?
Go ahead. BM says the game turned into a wrestling match. Fight.
Sydney's agent need to go represent a better player because the agent definitely is an all-star agent. Get a player would deserve your representation. All right, I was that guy. My God.
Time to go over, yeah. Yo, the LAFC taking a beating, brother. Taking a beating. Inter Miami time now. Taking a beating. Imagine Javier Mascherano. Why? One thing we can't say about Messi, get people walking up. We cannot say Messi does not help people come up. I mean, Tata Martino had the job at Inter Miami. Javier Mascherano has the job at Miami. Junior, so next year is a new manager. You want the work? Because you and Messi are bridging, you get the work.
Yo, see them ostracize Messi bodyguard.
Tired of him. Alright, he doesn't get vacation.
See them ostracize Messi bodyguard. You ask about the middle business.
Oh.
Positive
vibration said be that guy, Juna. the level pass come off the ball, some of the ballers. Yep, level pass some of the ballers. I am surprised Lawrence's team is struggling in the NWSL. They're leaking goals, not like Lauren.
Well, remember, Lauren is from a different time for NWSL. NWSL football has passed Lauren by. Big up Lauren, that is
Lauren, I'm a brethren still. In fact, this is why I don't really want to link him yet because I don't want to send up him blood pressure, Because when him fall upon ball chat, I have a definite ask him about them. Because we've watched the Chicago Stars, and I said, Lon, what kind of defensive foolishness are going on over there, sir? That is uncharacteristic of Lawrence's team. And I mean, them have a good squad. Them have big players, big ballers, players that he has coached from the youth level in Mallory Swanson and others. So them have a big squad. Julia Grosso, big baller. And them a get butter bruise. So, I mean, I don't know what going on. Maybe Lauren left his defensive tactics at the Reggae girls. Maybe he left the playbook of the Reggae, the defensive structure of the Reggae girls.
No, football is passing, man. He has to evolve.
Big up yourself. All right. Work on morning. Time for go my way on.
Sunday again, family. Big up. Make sure to smash the like button, family. And tell a friend about the show. Sunday. Big up to Arsenal. Big up to Arsenal fans. Big up on yourself. Who else we want to big up? It's a formality. Arsenal was the only surprise. Big up PSG, because PSG fans right now, they're on the verge of pointing to their former Ninja Turtle leader and say, he will leave us and we'll surpass the Champions League. Well,
look at you, Junior. Go on there, brother. Yo, people, we gone.